How to be satisfied in life. This video is all about finding the something more that you've been looking for. So many of us wonder, how can I be more satisfied with my life? There's a simplicity and a complexity to this question that we're going to dive into today. Welcome to the channel. I'm Kim Marie, and this channel is all about supporting women to step into their most empowered self so they can live their most fulfilling life. Feeling more satisfied with your life can sometimes feel very out of reach, yet most of us know that it is in reach. We're just not quite sure how to get there. We have this nagging feeling that there's something more for us and something we're supposed to be doing or some other purpose we're meant to be living, but we struggle to find our way there. That's what we're going to be diving into more deeply today. So why are we dissatisfied? Well, there are reasons that are individual as well as collective. We have our individual reasons, which might be that we've made choices that don't align with our real values, and we're starting to get to know what our values are. And we kind of have this moment one day where we go, whose life am I living? What is going on here? Why am I here? What am I doing? And this happens to so many people, and that relates to the collective reason why we might be dissatisfied. And that has to do with the idea that so often we are told how to be, who to be, what to say, what to do, and we adopt it as if it's what we're supposed to do. And we keep living our life according to these shoulds, these expectations, societal and cultural and collective ideas of what is right or proper. And that can suddenly have us waking up one day saying, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? All right. So this is what I believe is one of the biggest reasons we feel dissatisfied with our life. And we start to feel that incredible sense of disempowerment. We don't trust ourselves. We feel a tremendous amount of self-doubt. And we can even kind of escalate it by beating ourselves up and feeling worse about ourselves for waking up one day and realizing I'm very dissatisfied with my life and I need to make a change. Well, I want you to know that feeling we need to make a change is so normal. Part of our journey on this planet is to grow and expand and learn, and every experience that you've had up to now has prepared you for this moment, even if you feel like you're in a total transition and life hasn't worked out the way you thought it was going to. Now, I want to define life satisfaction. First of all, it's going to be unique to everyone. I also tend to consider it being different than happiness or success. I'm a big believer that success needs to be our definition of success, but that's very similar with satisfaction. We may have different ideas of what success is, different from each other, different from the status quo, different from the norm, but we probably also have different ideas of what it means to be satisfied. Now, to be satisfied is kind of like that idea of being satiated, right? When you eat a meal, certain things are going to make you feel pleasantly full and satisfied with your hunger is satisfied. It's similar with life. We have a hunger for life. And so to be satisfied means you're filling that hunger. And that may very well not be any kind of end goal. It's not some kind of ultimate result that we're seeking. And I'm a big believer that it's all about the journey and how we travel the journey, and so much less about the destination. I feel that's often true about success as well. Many people think of success as, when I make that money and have that house and have those kids and have that husband and whatever. It's not about the destination. And I teach this so in depth in my Solace program for women. I encourage you to check out the link below. If it's in waitlist mode, sign up for the waitlist. It opens up for enrollment annually. And this is an opportunity to connect with other women on this path and really learn how to embrace the journey. And when we can embrace the journey, our level of satisfaction goes through the roof. We stop feeling so hungry for that something more. We stop feeling like we're not living our own life or we're not living on purpose. And we start feeling very empowered. We learn to trust ourselves. We know that everything is helping to guide us more and more toward what we came here to do. So now that we understand what it means to be satisfied and why we're dissatisfied, we can start to look at things that we can do to find greater satisfaction. One of the things is self-reflection and aligning with our values. We first have to know what our values are. And that is a very critical and important tool. If we don't know what our values are, we aren't sure what we're doing in terms of if it's aligned with us or if it's aligned with cultural expectations or shoulds. We really need to understand and reevaluate our values. So that's one of the key practices. Now, in my Solace program that I mentioned, I take women on a journey of remembering who they are, reconnecting to what matters, in other words, your values, re-envisioning new possibilities, and reinventing or rebirthing yourself into those possibilities. But we can't get to that point. Most of us want to jump to the reinvention. We want to skip over the transition period. If we're in a transition time where we're not feeling satisfied, we inevitably will have to go through these stages. Everyone has to, and we do it naturally. We just don't always do it consciously, okay? And the more conscious we are of these transitions and how we navigate through them, the more quickly we can move through them, the more quickly we can find that satisfaction that we're looking for. Ultimately, what we want to do is start aligning our actions and our thoughts and our behaviors with the values that we have once we know what they are. Another way to feel more satisfied is to balance our needs and wants. We need to, of course, know what are our needs and wants. Another time, an opportunity for reflection and contemplation. It's really critical. This is all part of that remembering stage ultimately, because we want to really remember, like, who are we and what do we need and want? What are our desires? What do we really care about and value in the reconnecting stage as well? And so what we want to do is definitely learn to prioritize our needs and then take a look at the wants and where they begin to fit in. When our needs are met on a deep level because we're taking care of ourselves, we're meeting our needs, we're making sure our needs are getting met by others if that's what's required, then we don't feel as much of that dissatisfaction. Sometimes dissatisfaction comes from just a simple feeling that my needs are not getting met. I have all these needs and I don't know how to meet them. I don't know what's going on. And we may need support in meeting them. And we may need to ask for help, or we may need to just begin to shift and do things differently in our life in order to meet them. Another way to begin to feel more satisfied is through mindfulness and gratitude. Now, I talked a little bit about mindfulness around if we're doing the journey consciously or not. That's mindfulness. Are we aware of what's happening around us? What's causing our dissatisfaction? What generates satisfaction for us? When do we feel most satiated? When do we feel we don't need anything more and we're not off course and feeling off in some way that we can't quite explain? It's okay if we do. I want to share that the goal here isn't to be on and then on forever. We will have these experiences. This journey, these stages that I've been mentioning, they go on and on many, many times over in our lives, in many domains of our life. So we're going to feel off maybe in our career 1 year, and then a few years down the road, we might feel off in our relationships, or we might feel off in our spirituality or our finances or whatever it is. But we're going through these processes and they all are the same. But having mindfulness for what causes the dissatisfaction and a sense of consciousness for how we're going to approach the journey is so important, because then we can also have gratitude for it. Once we're aware of what's going on and we begin to understand what throws us off, we can also understand what teaches us, what helps guide us to feel more aligned, to feel more satisfied. And that's where the gratitude comes in. Having and practicing gratitude for all of it, even what we consider to be the failures, the mistakes, any of that is so important, because when we can appreciate that, we start to tap into more of what we're here to do. I know that was totally true for me, even stepping into being a women's empowerment coach. I didn't know that that was going to be my path, but my own path to empowerment. And I promise you, I have walked the talk of every video I make here. I am speaking from my own direct experience and learning. When I began to feel more empowered and step into more of my truth, I just wanted every woman to feel that. I wanted every person to feel that. So I became really grateful for all of the challenging experiences I had once I started to be more aware of how they actually helped me, be more mindful, more conscious of understanding what they've taught me and how they help me move forward in what I'm really here to do. We want to be sure also, in order to feel more satisfaction, to cultivate positive, nurturing relationships. We need to be aware of if we're in a toxic relationship, we're surrounded by naysayers, we're surrounded by people who don't really support our best interests. This is really, really important, because the more that you step into your truth and sense of empowerment, the more you're going to connect with other people, and you may have to say goodbye to certain relationships that were used to you feeling less satisfied, feeling more like a victim of your life, or feeling disconnected from your values. The more that you start connecting to your truth and what you need to feel satisfied, you'll also begin to see what relationships are supporting you and not supporting you to continue on that path toward empowered satisfaction. Satisfaction is very personal and enduring. Play the long game. This is about the journey, not the destination. It's not about getting the candy and being done, and that's it. We would be so ridiculously bored in our life if that were the case. We are here to play the long game, to keep seeing what are the new needs and wants, what are the new values that we might have, what are the new levels of satisfaction that we want to reach. We think now we'll be satisfied with this, and yet maybe life is saying that's not really going to satisfy you. There's something over here that you're meant to do that's going to bring far more satisfaction. Trust in the process, trust in the journey. Check out my Solace program in the link below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this with others, and I'll see you in the next video.